putting yourself out there with the podcast, meeting the people that you've met, has it impacted your life?
Of course, definitely.
Tell me some of the ways.
Yeah, like just investing in confidence in the States.
Yeah.
That's how I got in touch with Ryan, right?
Yeah.
You know, and my trick is, you know, if you guys want to do it, please do. The best trick I can give you guys is every time I go to the conferences, I pay the highest ticket.
The VIP.
I'm in front row.
What's your nationality?
Sri Lankan.
Sri Lankan.
Yeah.
Colombo?
Jaffna. It's up north.
Do you know Serujan?
I heard of this guy.
Yeah, he's the owner of Remax Sri Lanka.
Yeah. King Kondo.
King Kondo, yes. He's a friend. Him and his...
Yeah, you're the one who introduced me to him when we did the first podcast.
Okay, so...
From there, we started chatting.
Yeah.
But we haven't passed just a small conversation on Facebook.
Well, you know what I'm thinking? Maybe I should contact him and say, hey, why don't you bring your guys from Toronto to the conference in Montreal?
I'll be sick.
Yeah, okay, let me work on that. It's actually thanks to him that I went to the Remax conference in Korea. I was standing in line at the Remax awards ceremony in Las Vegas, and Serujan was in back of me, and we started talking. He said, okay, what do you do? What do I do? Oh, I'm from Toronto. And he goes, yeah, I also own the rights for Remax Sri Lanka. I'm like, oh, that's cool. He goes, by the way, are you coming to the Asia Pacific Conference in August? I'm like, no, I've never even heard about that. He goes, yeah, it's in Korea. I'm like, well, tell me more. He goes, well, listen, it's all the different countries in Asia that, are part of the Remax family. It's sort of like the equivalent of the R4. He goes, my office in Sri Lanka could invite you if you want. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. That year I was saying yes to everything, which reminds me a little bit of how you're tracing your path. You're putting yourself out there. So because I went to Las Vegas and I connected with somebody and we had a nice conversation, he's like, why don't you come? I went there, I brought my son, went to Japan, went to Korea, went to China, made some friendships that I still have to this day. And all of this because I decided to say, yeah, I'm going to put myself out there. So let me ask you, how old are you, by the way?
I'm 29.
29.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You have all this time ahead of you. You've done so much in the last couple of years. And clearly it is by putting yourself in sometimes a context that maybe you weren't comfortable, right? That you pushed yourself. What sparked that for you?
Great question, Seb. Thank you for the invitation, by the way. We appreciate it. I've been seeing your stuff. The day I started doing brokerage, I searched for the best brokers out there, right? So I found you, and then I contacted you for my podcast, and that's how we built our relationship. So I come from far away from Sri Lanka, right? So I came when I was 8 years old. So we were living in a civil war. So I'm so lucky to be here, right? So people don't see the opportunity that we have, that they have, right? Especially immigrants. And the fact that I'm here and my cousins are there and they're even better. Like education wise, like they finished school, they've done the university, all that stuff. But even though we have much better opportunities here because we're in Canada. So I'm so lucky to be here. So my goal is making sure that I don't waste this opportunity and see where can I go.
A lot of gratitude in the way that you operate, in the awareness of this fortune that we have. And I think it's a common thread in what we, the classic immigrant story. You come from less, you see all these opportunities, you're not afraid to work, you're not afraid to put yourself out there. But it's also easy to become complacent in reaching a certain level of success. So you did a couple of good things, you got to a certain level, but why are you pushing for more?
I want to see where can I go. Like people told me that I can't. I was stuttering when I was a child. I had a public speaking phobia. I had all those issues. So the fact that I'm always improving and see the result that I'm actually doing it, and I'm organizing the biggest conference, I can't even believe it. I sat down next to Ryan Serhant. So all this just make me like see if I can go even further and further and further and see where it could bring. And obviously that will also help other people around me. If you're the big tree, and all the apples will fall near you, so all the opportunities will be accessible for those who are around me. So I feel like I have to do it so I can help my family, my friends, my partners that I have. So I'm the type of person who doesn't have that fear of
just doing.
Doing. So you know what?
And you figure out as you go along, because there's no roadmap to everything that you're doing.
One of the biggest issue of most people is they don't want to be how do you say it?
Ridiculed. They don't want to be sure.
Exactly, right? So that's one of the reasons why people don't go forward. And I just don't.
You don't
care.
have that problem. I just don't care what people think.
I just don't. I had bigger issues back then.
Back then. Well, and I think that's something that's common for a lot of people. Whatever adversity that you face in your life helps forge the character that you have, the abilities, your resilience. The conference is called Elevate. So we're going to put a link for the conference. We're going to promote the conference. We're actually discussing for the Sperano Mentorship to be a sponsor of the conference. We're going to bring as many people as we can. I built a conference called the Summit 6288 in 2018, and I know the work behind it. And I see you go, and I'm like, man, good on you, because it's a lot. People don't see all the work that you're putting in, all the different spheres, the selling the tickets, the managing the spot. It's not cheap to bring some talent the way you are.
Not.
Who else is going to be at the conference?
Great question. So we have obviously Ryan Serhan. We have Olivier Primo.
Sure.
Multi-entrepreneur.
Beach day every day.
Beach day every day. Beach club. He done a lot of stuff. He has a lot of success, especially he's not in real estate. So it's good to have someone outside real estate.
Absolutely.
Bring us ideas. We have, who else do we have? We got Tatiana Londono.
Of course.
A good friend of yours.
Yes. We were here at the podcast. Tatiana is fantastic because she just put herself out there on TikTok. She has 2 million followers, something like that.
3 million in total, yeah.
Wow. And just content, love it, hate it, whatever. She's there. And like you, she doesn't care. It's like, this is what it is. And chapeau, little humor.
Yeah, we have Sugar Sammy.
I love Sugar
Sammy. His role will be to roast all the brokers.
And there's enough material.
So make sure you're not sitting in front because if he spots you, it will be a funny.
It's funny. I actually I attended one of his shows, and for whatever reason, I was called out or something.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh God! Well, he does what he does, right? And he put some sort of mention, like some sort of mafia, sort of thing. Or I don't know what. And I was like, oh no, it's like, well, let's go. But yeah, I love Sugar Sammy. He's quick on his feet. His improv is, I think, second to none.
One of the best.
Clearly.
Yeah.
And who else?
We have Daniel G. We haven't announced it yet. He's a sales guy, sales coach. He has around 1.4 million followers on IG. He's on a world tour right now. He get invited to all the conferences.
Nice.
Mexico, South America, Europe. He's big, and he's gonna be the next. I feel like he's gonna be the next guy on the coaching side of business, like a Grant Cardone type.
Gary Vee before.
He has, if you listen to him, he has the energy of 10 people.
Really? Huh?
He's just all over the place. And the fact that we're a little bit slow on adapting to new technology.
You mean specifically here in Quebec?
Yeah. So having the people from outside will obviously inspire us. One of the reasons I'm doing this podcast, this conference is we're the one who go outside, go to the States, go elsewhere.
You want to bring it home.
Yeah. So I'm like, why isn't it happening here? Why? What's the reason? One of the reasons I feel like it's the language barrier because people, most of them speak English. So we solve that problem. There's going to be live translation.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's an interesting twist.
We're going very big on this. Palais de Conga is not...
It's not cheap and it's not small. Yeah.
Exactly. So I want to make sure that we have this every year. We started with Ryan. Ryan wasn't even in my list. I was aiming for Patrick Bet-David. But Ryan came in, and I'm very grateful. Ryan is even... especially for this type of
audience, sure.
It's perfect.
And this will set the stage. And your next conference, you'll have Patrick Bet-David.
I'll have Patrick Bet-David, Gary Vee, Tony Robbins, all the guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Who would you say has been the most impactful over the last little while out of these, I guess, inspirational characters that we see?
Yeah, that would be Patrick Bet-David. That's why I was aiming for Patrick.
What is it about him that inspires you?
He comes from he immigrated.
Yes.
Immigrated to the States at around 80 years old, just like me. So I related to him a lot there, and he had a lot of issues when he was growing up. And look at him now; he's one of the most influential person I'll say in the world right now for everybody who's in business.
And you
know him, right?
Of course, and he has guests in all kinds of different spheres. He's not limited to one thing. Very wide, very broad.
Very wide, and I seen him a couple of times. I even asked him if he wanted to be in the conference, and you know what he told me? He said, "How many followers you have?" I'm like, damn, my stuff is in French, and it's super niche, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, listen, none of how many followers, how many downloads you have on your podcast. And obviously I told him, listen, I'm the biggest in Quebec, but it's small niche. So he said, listen, get to 1 million downloads and
then we'll talk.
We'll talk. He didn't say no. I like that fact. Yeah. I like the fact that he said.
He set the bar.
Yeah, he set the bar. So I'm like, no, I will never reach 1 million downloads, especially especially by doing it in French. So I said, you know what? I'm going to come get him in a different way. Mm-hmm. Conferences.
Yeah.
Conferences. We are already speaking with the team. They told me if you're able to show us that you can do a conference, because they asked me how many conferences
have you done. Sure.
I said,
this is my first one.
This is my first one. Right? I said, okay, listen, show us that you're able to do a conference. Show us that you can sell tickets, and we can discuss.
Yeah.
So
what does a guest of that magnitude cost to bring?
More than $100,000.
More than $100,000 US. So it's like $4 million Canadian.
But once you set the bar and you're able to, like, you can show them that you can do like big stuff, you can negotiate. But when you're
starting, of course, you have to build and buy your credibility. That's normal.
Yeah,
that's normal. Putting yourself out there in the podcast and everything that you do. First of all, we work with a fantastic team, and I try to say it every time. This iteration of the Broker's Desk is only possible because of the awesome work of René Gabriel and Josue that you referred to me.
Yeah.
They work with your stuff. How important is it to surround yourself with top people like that?
I think that's the most important thing, because obviously you're not good at everything, right? So the reason why I've been consistent doing podcasts is in all the content creation, it's because I have people that help me, right? That wouldn't be possible otherwise. And I'm not even good at it. So the fact that you hire the best around you, and that's how I grew also. Like even in mortgages, I was mentored by the best. Talking about mentorship, it's how important is to get the best mentors out there, because there's a point where you will stagnate.
Sure.
You know,
and you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. And it's all about information. The more information you know, the more growth you will have, the more money you will make. You know, it's all about information. Like, I don't think that people don't succeed because they're not smart. It's because they don't have the information. Like, if you just look outside your box, like let's say someone who's salaried, who's making $60,000-$70,000, by being curious about the employer, about the boss, how it's done, how the business is working, you could definitely have better opportunities. But most people always like to be in a comfort zone. Safe. And stay in the box. They don't look for something else. They don't know.
Well, it comes with a cost. I mean, look, you've taken on a huge undertaking to produce this conference. Nothing is guaranteed. You have 1,000 tickets to sell. Nobody knows that you're going to sell those tickets. Nobody knows that people are going to show up, and you're like, fuck, I'm going to do it anyway. So you have to step outside of your comfort zone, but you have to be ready to take risks. And that's scary sometimes.
Yes. And the fact that I have a good team around me, I have a partner, I have a good team. I have no idea how it's going to be to create a conference, how it's going to be a conference at this magnitude. But the fact that I have a good team, that helps you a lot. So
it gives you the confidence.
Exactly. But at the same time, it will be only my fault if I don't succeed it.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen. So
that's not going to happen, exactly. Right? So, we have people who making calls, we have emails, we have all that stuff. I'm touching base from different angles right now?
It's nonstop. It's nonstop. And again, chapeau, because it's so much work. People who attend the conference will get value from, everything that they're going to receive. But one of the things that I learned from the number one agent in the world, Gary Ashton in Nashville, was, you'll get from the speaker and you'll get from the motivation, but the contacts that you can make, the connections that you can make, that's priceless. And you're putting together a conference where there's going to be 1,000 brokers, entrepreneurs, mortgage people that are passionate. I mean, it's not free. It's a conference people are going to pay for. Yeah. So, I mean, they're vested. Now, the value of just being in a room that's going to vibrate at that level can impact your life for years and years and years to come. And for me, it's important to let people know this investment that they're going to make in themselves and in this conference could have an impact on so many levels and so many ways. The same way, I'm sure, for you, putting yourself out there with the podcast, meeting the people that you've met, has it impacted your life?
Of course, definitely.
Tell me some of the ways.
Yeah, like just investing in conference in the States. Yeah. That's how I got in touch with Ryan. Right?
Yeah.
And my trick is, if you guys want to do it, please do. The best trick I can give you guys is every time I go to the conferences, I pay the highest ticket.
The VIP.
I'm in front row.
Yeah.
And when you're in the front row, it's a lot of money, right? It's a lot of money. And back then, I used to pay with my credit card, but it was always a great investment for me because my goal was to have bigger contacts. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's not contacts for mortgages. No, I can't do mortgages in Vegas or neither Miami. So my goal was podcasting and conferences and all that stuff. So I knew that if I pay the highest ticket in front row, I'm also the biggest client for the organizer. And
Absolutely.
usually organizer, they're the one who invite the big speakers. So they want to give me a good service. So, and I do ask questions to those guys. I'm like, hey, how do you get this guy? How do you get Gary Vee? How do you get this guy?
I want to touch on that a second, and it's super important. I think it's important to, highlight other people who are part of that. I'm going to take a moment to say that this is possible because of our friends here at the Mount Stephen Hotel. This is super important that we're going to be promoting the Elevate Conference. So we're going to rewind a little bit. You're talking about the value of buying the high ticket item for the conferences, the VIPs. For people who are not familiar, what does that? Give me an example of a high ticket that you've paid for one of the conferences.
$10,000 US.
You bought a ticket for $10,000 for which conference?
The Patrick Bet-David one. It's called Sales Leaders.
Okay.
So basically, just all about sales.
What the hell do you get for $10,000? Does he come and give you like a neuro massage or what?
No, it's just you're surrounded with the biggest players. Like whoever can afford $10,000 are usually big players, right? So those kind of conferences, it's all about like sales businesses. So there were like different business owners who's making, I don't know, a couple of millions of dollars. So they're all around me, right? So if you have any kind of business proposition, if you want
your environment,
the environment is different. So now the best way I can explain this is, let's say a luxury broker wants to have luxury clients, like better clients, right?
Sure.
Rich people. You won't find them at McDonald's. You like sometime here and there if you're very lucky, but you won't find them in McDonald's. You have to go to places where they go. And those kind of places, sometimes you got to pay for it.
No? Sure. No, you're absolutely right. I do want to make a point. There's, I heard this somewhere and said, look, if you have $5, you can go to McDonald's, have a coffee, or you can go to the Ritz-Carlton and maybe not have a fancy coffee, but have a tea. It's going to be the same $5, but your experience is going to be different.
I truly believe so.
So to position yourself. But now beyond that, you're saying sometimes you need to invest in not just what you're going to do, but in the possibilities that you're going to create, right?
Believe me or not, that's true. And it's very scary. Like spending $10,000, pay the hotel, pay the flight, go there and, expect that you will have some kind of return. And sometimes you have to go there more than once.
Sure. It's not a magic wand.
Exactly.
Well, I think that's the difference. That sometimes people may go about this foolishly and say, okay, I'm going to pay $10,000 and all this doesn't work like that. You still got to work for it. You still got to show up. You still got to invest. And I think you have to bring some value to people. Can't just go there to take, right?
Exactly. So like let's say I want to have Patrick, right? It's like, so I need to make sure that he recognizes me first, right? So I already spoke with him, but also invest in his product. Like some people ask for the world to a person, but they don't give anything in return.
Sure.
Right? The minimum you could do is buy their product. No? That's the minimum you can do. If you're already cheap about it or you can afford it, then don't expect something in their side. So that's one of the strategies that always worked well for me.
I like Gary V. You give, and then you can ask.
Exactly. It always worked.
I think so. And I truly believe it too. It's like, one of the sayings, if you want to fly like an eagle, don't fuck with turkeys. So paying the higher ticket sometimes allows you to be with the elite, with the people with a certain mindset. Elevate. Do we have a high ticket item?
Of course we do.
Please tell me more.
So the thing is, the reason why I go to the States on top of it is because I want to gather the best information, how it's done there, so we can reproduce it here in Quebec. So we made sure that we have different values with different tickets. So we have general tickets, we call it superstars. It's $400 right now. On pre-sales at $340. I don't know when your podcast is going to go out, but on the 20th of November.
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible. Guys. As soon as possible. Make sure, guys. Make sure. They work with me too, so they have no choice. Yeah. So the 20th of November, it's the pre-sale is expiring.
Okay.
And then that's just a general admission, and then we have VIP where you get the after party.
Okay. What does a VIP ticket cost?
It's usually the normal price is $1,000. Right now it's at $850.
$850 for the VIP ticket, which gives you
the
conference.
You have for my école.
Yeah.
So instead of like just shares, you have tables in front of you.
Okay.
So better sitting, more comfortable near the stage. Also much closer to the stage, and with only 350 people will have access to an after party. Whoever paid that kind of ticket. So obviously proximity brings opportunities. Those kind of people who's gonna go, obviously they have the same mindset, serious about it. So that will definitely help. And then we have the Hall of Famers. We played with the names, right? Hall of Famers.
Yeah, it sounds like something from Remax. Yeah.
Exactly. I got inspired by Remax, to be honest. So yeah, Hall of Famers, they get the mastermind with Ryan Stern and all the other conference speakers.
Okay, right? So just to set the stage properly, a Hall of Fame ticket for the Elevate conference is an investment of how much?
$4,000. Right now we were at $3,400 with the pre-sale. 15%.
Okay, so it's a $4,000 ticket. If you buy it now, it's a little bit cheaper. But more than looking to get a discount, what do I get from this Hall of Fame ticket?
Yeah, you have the chance to have a one-on-one conversation with Ryan. Take pictures, ask the question you want. There's also going to be all the other conference speaker who's going to attend the conference, the mastermind.
Plus, so the mastermind, is that on the same day as the event?
Yes.
Like right after?
Right after.
Okay.
At night, it's a super high-end super.
How many people?
50 people.
50 people, that's it?
That's it.
Okay. And 50 people in one room having supper with all these, I guess, serious
people, yeah.
Serious entrepreneurs, including Ryan. One-on-one picture. What else?
Well, that's pretty much it.
Where's the supper?
The supper will be, we haven't decided yet. Okay. We have different proposition right now with different hotels. We're looking for the best one right now.
Of course,
we have time to do
something exclusive.
Exactly. It also has the after party. So after the mastermind, they can just go to the after party.
Really?
So
is that the venue decided, or is that still something that
we're still deciding? So we have big players who wants to help us.
Sure.
But we want the best negotiation possible. We want the best offer. We're
best offer, the best value.
Yeah.
Well, I believe in giving before asking, and I feel that there's two things that we're going to do. The very first thing is that, first of all, to thank you for putting me in contact with them, for thanking you also for coming on the podcast, for thanking you for having me on your podcast so many years ago. That's part of my journey. I want to do two things. we're going to do 2 draws. Number 1 for a pair of tickets for Elevate, okay? And the second thing, by sharing and talking about this podcast, on va faire tirer 1 Hall of Fame ticket. So the Sperano mentorship, other than the sponsorship, I'm going to buy an extra ticket to give to an entrepreneur. They're going to have to meet certain, I guess, criteria. They got to be serious about this.
Okay.
But yeah,
I didn't know about that. I'm just learning. Guys.
Okay.
I'm just learning.
Well, yeah, that's it. I think
amazing.
you have to give value.
Amazing.
And, you know, maybe this will be something that will be a pivotal moment in somebody's life. And because these moments have been pivotal in my life, I want to offer it back to somebody. So I guess we'll put the details as to how we're going to go about it. But I'm announcing today that the Sperano Mentorship and this podcast from the Broker's Desk will be giving away 2 tickets for the conference and doing a draw for a Hall of Fame pass to hang out with 49 other awesome people.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be. We already sold 20 tickets of Hall of Famers. People
That's crazy.
People know the values behind it, and you know you just need one contact, one information, one opportunity to change your life. Like me, like when I started.
Sounds like Eminem.
Eminem.
Yeah, one shot, one to no. Maybe we put the music in the background.
You should. What I was gonna say is when I started brokerage, I didn't know anything about mortgages, and one of my friends spoke me about why don't you do mortgages. I searched on Google what's a mortgage, and then I dived in. Just one contact that gave me this opportunity and put me in a position like this.
Yes,
you know, it's all about
conversations, putting yourself out. What do you have? What would you say is one of your biggest challenges, Cyril? For you, not for the conference, but just in general.
Man, I never thought of it like that. It's a great question. One of the biggest challenges? I feel like I want to move faster, and I know that I need to be patient. You know, sometimes you want to have stuff faster, but I know that what it takes to get to places is patience and trust the process. And by trusting the process, I feel like you could get to places. So the thing is, you know, like my parents, they don't come from a fortunate family, you know. So, you know, if you born in a rich family, especially if the parents are very smart about it and teaching the kids about like contact, how to make money, how to do this, how to do that, I'll be in a different position right now. Not with their money, just the information they could share. You know, so the fact that I'm starting from zero, it just frustrates me because I know that if I knew some stuff that I know now much earlier, I would have even moved faster. You know,
I understand what you're saying. I also believe that the path that you're on, you're 29. You said, When's your birthday?
22nd of November.
Okay, cool. Scorpio.
Getting old.
Yeah.
Sagittarius.
Scorpio. Okay, we had this horoscope conversation the other day. You're 29 years old. You have a vision. You're hungry. You're surrounding yourself with the right people. You said trust the process. I like to end these awesome interviews, these awesome conversations by having you speak to you in 10 years. See the camera that's there?
Yeah.
I want you to take a look at it. I want you to speak to Serujan, and I want you to tell him what he needs to know and where he's going to be and what he's going to achieve.
Serujan.
En français, si tu veux. Or...
No problems. I done this a couple of years ago. I was working at McDonald's. No, I was in a desk working as a security guard. I was filming myself. I'm like, Serujan, you're broke as fuck right now. But trust me, man, you're going to make it. Believe in yourself. And I think you saw that video.
I did.
You did. I remember my car was broke. I didn't have money to fix the car, so I was like very desperate at that time, and I didn't have hours at my job, so I was very in a rough situation. So Serujan,
and you've made it from there to here.
Yeah.
Now let's project into the future.
Perfect. Serujan, just trust the process, brother. I know you're capable of doing anything you want, and it's just a matter of time that you get all you want, right? So just believe in yourself. And don't take a no for a yes. That's how you got to places like what you're doing right now. So just trust the process and believe in yourself.
That's awesome. Let's hit 2 or 3 things that you want to achieve or attain from now till 10 years from now.
what I want
Not
to
for
share.
me, for you.
What
you
I
tell you what you want.
I'm not into material stuff. I want to make sure that I influence even a bigger audience, nationally, even internationally. That's something that I just tasted recently. Like people approaching me and telling me how I influence them to change their job, change their career. So I want to just reach out to more people, influence more people that if they want anything, they can get it. And all it takes is drive and tenacity. That's what it takes. So I want to influence more people. So I hope that if you don't stop, no, why am I hoping? I shouldn't hope. I should just say, yeah, believe in yourself, man. You will make it.
You want kids?
Of course, I want my kids. Yeah.
So in 10 years from now,
10 years from now, I'll have at least 3-4 kids.
3-4 kids.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's something.
I want to make some mini Serus,
Some mini Serus. Watch out, we're taking over. It's like I don't need friends. I make my own people. I like that. Serujan,
thank you so much.
I'm really proud of you. You put yourself out there, and your consistency is second to none. A lot of people, and I've been in it, and I've done it. I've started, I've stopped. You keep going, and you build, and you build, and you build. And that, over the next 10 years, the compound effect of that is going to bring you to places we can't even imagine. And I'm honored to be part of that path and to see you go. So
appreciate it. Thank you.
I
appreciate it.
Serujan, elevate. Stay tuned for more. Great pleasure to be at the Mount Stephen Hotel and to share these inspirational conversations. Look, one of the things I think that both you and I share is the ability just to reach out to people and ask. I think people that are successful are going to be generous with their success, not to be afraid. You see somebody that you like what they do, reach out, say, hey, can I connect with you, brother? Can I speak to you? And if you have a little bit of value to give in return, a world of possibility can open. So if we can inspire you to reach out to the better version of yourself, to the better version of your dream by connecting with people who inspire you, well, that's part of our mission. Seru?
Thank you.
Thank you.